This is Wednesday, August 6th, out in the Tremont eastbound rest area. We had our courtesy inspection today by the mechanical engineering section of bridge design for DOTD. Brandon has a video capturing most of the conversation that went on. The only real item that they were concerned with doesn't involve us. It's having the proper disconnect distance to the various mechanical equipment. That's going to be addressed separately, but just to document where we stand as of today during this inspection, I'm going to go through each component and talk about what's done and what's left to be done. This is the infinite lift station. The gravity line has been installed by the plumber. The breakaway fittings are down there, set at 8 inches above the sump with stainless steel all thread to accept the grout pads to be cast. The ductile iron has been plumbed out. It still has yet to be painted with the alkyd top coat. The seams of the coating have been patched with patch and plug, and it will be coated with the Semstone epoxy afterwards. And then at that point, this wet well will be ready to accept power and the chopper pumps. DOT came over and took a look at the chopper pumps, checked out the nameplate, and they're going to bring all the information back and review it, but everything looked acceptable to them. They took a look at our mechanical connection between the lift station and valve box. That there was no comment. Coming on over here, Brandon, thank you. Going to hop down over to the valve box. This valve box is close to complete. The ductile iron has been top coated with alkyd. The penetrations have been grouted. The sump drain is in place. They have yet to put the pipe supports and to slope the floor. But other than that, this is then complete. The emergency 90 coming up. This pad is ready to prepare and accept the splitter. They took a look at the pre-plumbed out blower housings. All of the motor, blower, and pulleys are pre-plumbed out in there. They took a look at that, and that should be good to go. We went through the system. They like all the piping and the grading. We did have a conversation about limited fall protection in some of these holes that have piping or doesn't have piping. And they talked about something that's easily removed and that's simple, and that sounds good. They were good with the flowable fill. They were good with all the piping and fittings. We talked about down here at the tertiary filter in the treatment plant plans. They showed the control panel here up against the tertiary filter vault, and in the electrical plan they showed it on a separate stand. They're gonna decide on that and work that through with Radcliffe and with Y. They talked about this pad. If they put it on the stand, the pad would not be required, and made sure we understood the clearances for Y for code. And he gave us a little bit of direction on the conduit that we use. That has to be UL listed, and maximum on flex conduit of 3 feet. Any longer than that be rigid. And everything needs to avoid a tripping hazard. He was pleased with the tertiary vault. This is the tertiary vault. It's pre-plumbed to accept the filter. The floor is sloped. The drain is installed. The ductile iron is in place and with the finish coat. The tertiary filter bypass line was explained to their satisfaction. It comes out of the vault, and then down there it has PVC with a sweeping T and a clean out, and a sweeping T and a clean out. Then it heads out to the effluent manhole and makes a 45 and goes into that manhole. DOT was good with that. Brandon just finished that this morning. Changed out the ring and cover to a sandblasted and painted ring and cover, and grouted the ring. The chlorinator tubes with extension tubes was explained to Jim Jackson. The piping and bedding was to their satisfaction. The chlorine contact chamber, no comment. They were pleased with the sample port here. I had questions on whether or not they wanted us to put security. They thought probably not. They would get back to us. We explained the fall requirement of that. They were very pleased with how we chose to do that. And the effluent manhole was plumbed by Rutledge Plumbing on out to the ditch. That was all to their satisfaction. So going back over, they said they barely had anything. They would certainly be reviewing part numbers and specs and producing a formal report, but other than they're concerned on having disconnects at each piece of electrical, which is really between Ratcliffe and Y, thinks everything is going very well, and they're satisfied with everything that we have done. That's it. Brandon, can you think of anything that I missed?
No, sir. I think you got it all.
All right, and congratulations to Brandon and his crew for doing such a great job. And that's to finish our report.